What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to talk about your home equity line of credit and how you can use it to build massive amount of wealth. My name is Brian Tran, real estate investor, serial entrepreneur, and I personally use my HELOC to buy a lot of real estate. And I'm going to share with you guys at the end how I did it and how you can too. So make sure you stay till the end, because that is going to be the crucial part in building massive amount of wealth. And if you guys find a lot of value, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the comment section, give me a thumbs up, because I'm doing these videos to really help you guys. Okay, so home equity line of credit, also known as a HELOC. This is how you can tap into your home's equity and use it like a credit card. You guys ever hear those people who say, I got $1 million in equity, I got $2 million in equity? Well, guess what? The only way you can tap into that home's equity is by either selling the property, doing a cash out refinance, or using a method called HELOC. I wanted to start by saying that there are certain do's and don'ts of using a HELOC. Okay, so when you tap into your home's equity and you pull it out as a HELOC, this is a great benefit because, like a credit card, you can use it, you can pay it back, and it's gonna be there. Whereas if you use a cash out refinance, you can't really use it like a credit card. They're gonna give you that lump sum and you're gonna pay it off in 20 or 30 years, whatever you decide to lock it in at. The main thing that I wanna talk about in terms of a HELOC is that it is based on the prime rate. Now, the prime rate, for those of you guys who are wondering what that is, that fluctuates. And in today's market, as of 2023, May 15th, which is when we're shooting this, the prime rate is 8.25%. So that means your interest rate is 8.25%. It is very high. And because the interest rates are so high, I do not recommend you guys using that money for any kind of long-term investments. For example, guys, I would not use my HELOC to go and buy a big multi-unit building that doesn't have any value add, because most properties you will look at today are only gonna get maybe 6 to 8% cap rates. Now, if you guys don't know what a cap rate is, I advise you guys to look that up next. But basically, if a building is only bringing in 7% cap, but it's costing you 8.25% to borrow that money to buy the property, you're gonna be negative 1.25%. So that's why I don't advise you guys doing this very long term. But like I said, if you stay to the end, I'm gonna show you guys how to use it correctly and the right scenario when to use your HELOC. Okay, it's important right now in this part of the video to go over the pros and the cons of a HELOC. Let's start off with some of the cons. The first con is that it is an adjustable interest rate. Like I said, it is based off the prime rate, and the prime rate today is super high, but 2 years ago it was low. So because it is unpredictable and it can go based on the market, it doesn't allow you that stability when you're investing in real estate. So that's why that is a big con. The second con is that it is short term. It is not a means to borrow for 10, 15, 30 years. You want to be in and out quick because it is adjustable. And you're buying rental properties and buying real estate, you need that predictability, because that way it allows your cash flow to be consistent. But let's go over some of the pros of a HELOC. The pros of a HELOC is that you get to tap into the equity of your home. It is a resource of capital, so that if you do come across a great opportunity to invest or to buy a steal on these properties, then yes, you have access to that money. The second pro of a HELOC is that it is very flexible. You can borrow $100,000 today and literally pay it back tomorrow and only have to pay a small amount of interest. Whereas in another scenario where if you were to do a cash out refinance, if I were to borrow that $100,000, let's say in the cash out refinance, and I use it, and then tomorrow I pay back that $100,000, I don't have access to that money anymore. But like I said, with a HELOC, like a credit card, you can pull in, you can pay it back, you can pull out some more, and it just depends on the project that you're putting it into. And the third pro is that getting a HELOC is actually a very low cost. Most banks will actually cover a lot of the fees associated with getting a HELOC. So this is a great way to tap into your home's equity and start using it to invest more. Okay, and now we're at the juicy part. How and when should you use your HELOC? my philosophy is very simple. I use my HELOC whenever the opportunity outweighs the cost. What do I mean by that? So for example, today, it would cost me 8.25% to use the money in my HELOC. But if the opportunity arises and that is gonna return me 10 or 15%, I'm gonna take that money out, which is costing me 8.25. The return on that new investment is gonna be 10%, which means I net that 1.75% difference. And that's free money, guys, because I'm using that money and it's making me more. What you don't wanna do is using that HELOC that is costing me 8.25% and investing it into a long-term rental that is only gonna be bringing in 5%, which technically means you're losing 3.25% every single day. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching till this part where I share with you guys how I'm personally using my HELOC to build a lot of wealth. And I'm actually doing it in 2 ways. So the first way that I'm doing it, I'm actually using a few of my HELOCs today. I'm pulling out that money and I'm using it to flip properties. Because right now, when I call my hard money lenders, they're charging me anywhere from 9 to 10% and they're charging me 1 point. My HELOC, on the other hand, is 8.25%. So I'd rather borrow from that because it's a little bit cheaper. I take that money, I buy an ugly, dilapidated home, and then I fix it up and I sell it for a profit, usually in 4 to 6 months. I make all that difference, I pay back my HELOC, and guys, when I do the math on some of my flips, I'm making, a 5 to 8x on my money. The second way that I use my HELOC to build generational wealth, this is more long-term, and you're thinking, wait, I thought you just said that these loans aren't very long-term. Well, listen up, so this is how I do it. So I use my HELOC as a down payment on a long-term rental. And you're thinking, wait, you just told me don't use these for long-term investments. Let me explain. I use that as a down payment on these homes. Then I go and get a DSCR loan, which stands for Debt Service Coverage Ratio loans. I take that, which basically means that they don't care about my income. They only care about what that property is going to be generating. So again, here's the trick, guys. This is where it's not so much a long-term thing, okay? I buy the house, but the house I buy always generally needs a little bit of work. So I would buy a house, I would then fix up the house, I would rent the house, and then I refinance the house into a long-term 30-year fixed mortgage, which is anywhere in today's market for about 6.5 to 7.25 is what I'm getting. All right, guys, I hope you guys got a lot of value. So let me just summarize this. Use your HELOC as a way to invest, as a way to grow your wealth. But let me give you guys a word of advice. Do not use your HELOC like some people use their credit card. This is not for you to go and upgrade your lifestyle. This is not for you to go out and buy a Ferrari or buy a Lamborghini. You should be using your HELOC only when the opportunity will bring you back more money than it cost you to get that HELOC. I hope you guys get a lot of value out of this video. I appreciate you guys. Again, hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.